Finished. Now, this is all about making myself credible in your eyes again, and I'm going to do that by admitting that evolution is a lie!
God damn you, Mac!
Yes, please do, Mac.
Now, as you can see, this is the evolution meter, and I've put God, the creator of everything, on the right side, and evolution on the left. I've went ahead and put you guys all on the fence, because of course you're going to hear out my
Actually, no.
Just start where I would start. No matter, I'm righteous. I'm not going to stand here, present some egghead scientific argument based on fact. I'm just a regular dude. I like to drink beer, you know? I love my family. Rock, flag, and eagle, right, Charlie? He's got a point.
No, he doesn't.
What? See, Charlie? These liberals are trying to assassinate my character. I can't change their mind. I won't change my mind, because I don't have to. Because I'm an American. I won't change my mind on anything, regardless of the facts that are set out before me. I'm dug in, and I'll never change.
Mac, look, you're wasting our time. You're not going to get us to not believe in evolution.
And why is that?
Because the smartest scientists in the entire world all agree that it's real.
I'm glad you brought that up. Because, Mr. Reynolds, science is a liar sometimes.
Oh, boy.
This is Aristotle, thought to be the smartest man on the planet. He believed that the Earth was the center of the universe, and everybody believed him because he was so smart. Until another smartest guy came around, Galileo, and he disproved that theory, making Aristotle and everybody else on Earth look like a bitch. Of course, Galileo then thought comets were an optical illusion, and there's no way that the moon could cause the ocean's tides. Everybody believed that because he was so smart. He was also wrong, making him and everyone else on Earth look like a bitch again. And then, best of all, Sir Isaac Newton gets born and blows everybody's nips off with his big brains. Of course, he also thought he could turn metal into gold and died eating mercury, making him yet another stupid bitch. Are you seeing a pattern?
No.
Mr. Reynolds, these were all the smartest scientists on the planet. Only problem is, they kept being wrong. Sometimes.
This is insane, you fool!
I'm a fool because I have more faith in the saints that wrote the Bible?
Yeah, because you just read the words of a bunch of guys that you never met, and you just take it on faith that everything they wrote was true.
And what makes you think what your scientists are writing is any more truer than my saints?
Because there are volumes of proven data, numbers, figures. There are fossil records.
Oh, fossil records. Ah! I didn't even think about the fossil records. I guess I'll concede. Oh, wait, one more thing before I do, Mr. Reynolds. Have you seen these fossil records?
Have I... Huh?
Have you poured through the data yourself? The numbers, the figures?
Well, no. No.
Oh, interesting. So let me get this straight, Mr. Reynolds. You get your information from a book written by men you've never met. And you take their words as truth, based on a willingness to believe, a desire to accept, a leap of, dare I say it, faith?
Come on. Look, I don't even know how I'm supposed to respond to that. Like, come on. That's a false equivalency.
Just answer the question, Mr. Reynolds.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
I rest my case.
Oh, that got me. Yeah.
Frank, do you want me to?
Put me over.
Yeah, all right.
What?
Well, we're going on the fence. I mean, it's a shadow of a doubt.
You actually don't believe in evolution anymore?
I don't know. He created a reasonable doubt. He makes you sound like a stupid science bitch.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh my god.
走走走走走走，哎，走着呢，我晓得了。我晓得了，嗯。走着嘛。哦，也听话。嗯。走走走走走走，哎，走着呢，我晓得了。我晓得了，嗯。走着嘛。哦，也听话。嗯。
All right, the real question here is, are you going to be another science bitch and tell me that this is a dinosaur? Is this a dinosaur fossil? Honestly, let's be honest here. Does this look like a quote unquote dinosaur? Do you believe in dinosaurs? Do you believe in this mythical creature that they devised? This thing that they imagined in order to boost their career, to become the coolest science bitch of the age? Or are you gonna trust your lying eyes and tell me that this is a dragon? In China, where they actually believe in dragons, unlike Europeans and Americans who are science bitches. Just a question. Okay, so here's the kicker. All right, here's the kicker. I'm not just going to throw that argument at you like that's the say-all, be-all. Okay, look, the honest truth of the matter is, okay, let's go back to China, first of all. Okay, China believes in dragons. They don't believe in dinosaurs, okay? There's like a mountain, I think it's in Guangzhou, China. I believe it is, I'm not certain, all right? But there's a mountain that's renowned for being the final resting place of the dragons. Dragons are mystical, benevolent creatures in China. They're benevolent. The people love them. They've always loved them. They've blessed them. I mean, you look at the Japanese quote unquote mythology. I mean, this whole region is rife with stories of dragons. Okay, so they don't even know what a dinosaur is. You think you'd see all those Chinese people huddled around some kind of a Smithsonian excavation site. Some sort of, hey, we found a plesiosaurus. It's a plesiosaurus. Yep, look at it. Oh, this is a new breed. We haven't seen one quite like this. Now, I refer you back to my dragon head video, where they found a dragon head in Dorset. Okay? Now, yes, I do have to say that a lot of times these things are most certainly replicated. They're fakes, without a doubt. There's plenty of that out there, but that's not what I'm talking about, and I don't believe that's what this is, okay? You see that many Chinese people huddled around a quote-unquote fossil, these skeletal remains of this creature. Now note, first of all, they're not covered in stone. Now, in America, what happens, go to Utah or somewhere, they dig shit up. Okay, they dig it up, they chisel away at it for like 3 years until they come up with a shape. And they're like, well, this is a new brand of we've never seen this Tyrannosaurus Rex before. This must be an offshoot of it's a hybrid between a Diplodocus and, they just come up with the biggest bullshit in the world. Never mind that when dinosaurs were invented by Sir Richard Owen, they were invented. Okay, it was the age when these science bitches out there trying to become the coolest science bitch there was. You have to understand the competition of this age. Everybody wanted to be the smartest. They all wanted to be renowned. They all wanted to be famous in their field. In this new breaking thing called science. They wanted to be the coolest among their peers. This was peer-reviewed, and just like Hollywood and other establishments today, peers awarded peers with medals and accolades and with positions of authority and with wealth that came with these positions of authority. They wanted to elevate themselves beyond what they were, and they did that with fabrication. They fabricated knowledge of everything. That's where Darwinism came from. It was the desire to be cooler than the other science bitches. I mean, I'm putting this in extremely crude terms, and I understand that. All right, but this is as basic as I can get it. I can't imagine a better way to convey this thought and this argument, which is why I'm utilizing this particular method. But look, all right, dinosaurs have never existed until the word dinosaur was invented. Nobody ever dug up a dinosaur bone anywhere in the entire world until dinosaurs were invented. Before that, it was dragons. Everybody knew it was dragons. There was no shadow of a doubt anywhere. Nobody even questioned it. They're like, holy shit. You found a dragon skeleton. You found the skeleton of a dragon. Nobody said, oh, that's a Diplodocus, Plesiosaur, Tyrannosaurus, Stegosaur. These are Greek terms. They utilize Latin as well, but Greek, just the word dinosaur itself, dinos in Greek means terrible, all right? And sauros means lizard, okay? So these are English guys using Greek. Now, what does that sound like? Why would they do something like that? To elevate their credibility, to sound smarter. It's very clear. I mean, I can see right through that silly deception right there. Now remember that dinosaurs in every museum are replicas. Okay, so they're all made out of plaster. Okay, they're all made out of plaster. You go ask any. This is irrefutable. You can go to any museum and you see a giant Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton, you're going to be like, well, you go to the curator. If you can twist his arm enough, you'll get him to admit that, yes, of course, it's not the real one. They're far too rare. They're far too valuable to put out in front where all the people could stick gum on them and touch them and breathe on them and all that. Look, they're not going to do it. So right off the bat, they admit that everything you see is plaster. Now, what's behind the scenes? Well, the real ones are hidden in a curator's vault. And wait a second. So let's see these curator's vaults. Let's go back and look at what's inside of these. And when you get the rare glimpse inside of these private collections, you see that it's all made out of what? Rock. It's quote unquote petrified. It's petrified. What does petrified mean? It means rock. It means rock. Okay. So if something is petrified, that means it's made of rock. So if somebody chisels away at some petrified fossil for 3, 4, 5, 10 years, whatever their length of time they spend before they reveal their findings, what are the chances that they sat there with a chisel and chiseled out whatever they wanted? And then they named it after themselves because it's the first of its kind. The first of its kind. Because it wasn't created until that sculptor sculpted it. Dinosaurs are fake. They are not real. Any museum curator will tell you that to your face, that they're replicas in the front. And in the back, they will say that they're petrified. And petrified means rock. So prove to me that that rock, which you sculpted for years and years and years and years and years, was suddenly revealed by your tool instead of being created by your tool. To understand the dinosaur deception, let's go back to the guy who invented the word dinosaur. Now, I don't recommend that you use Wikipedia, but I'm using Wikipedia. It works adequately well for this particular exercise. Okay, so we're talking about Sir Richard Owen, 1804 to 1892. He was an English biologist, comparative anatomist, and a paleontologist. He's generally considered to have been an outstanding naturalist with a remarkable gift for interpreting fossils. Remarkable gift, eh? For interpreting fossils. Moving on. Here's a picture of Sir Richard Owen, very distinguished looking gentleman. Now, notice the sir, okay? Sir. Sir, as in knight. Or he's already a member of a secret society. Just put that in your head immediately. All right, that's the first thing you hear. Sir, which means secret society. Known for coining the term dinosaur and presenting them as a distinct taxonomic group. The British Museum of Natural History. Now let's take a look at some of his awards. Huh? Okay, just in his career, these are the awards he was awarded. The Wollaton Medal, the Royal Medal, the Copley Medal, the Bailey Medal, the Clark Medal, and the Linnean Medal. And that's from 1838 to 1888. Okay? Span of 50 years. He got 6 prestigious medals. Owen produced a vast array of scientific work, but is probably best remembered today for coining the word Dinosauria, meaning terrible reptile or fearfully great reptile. An outspoken critic of Charles Darwin's theory of evolution by natural selection, Owen agreed with Darwin that evolution occurred, but thought it was more complex than what was outlined in Darwin's On the Origin of Species. Owen's approach to evolution can be considered to have anticipated the issues that have gained greater attention with the recent emergence of evolutionary developmental biology. Owen was the first president at the Microscopical Society of London in 1839 and edited many issues of its journal. Owen also campaigned for the natural specimens in the British Museum to be given a new home. This resulted in the establishment in 1881 of the now world-famous Natural History Museum in South Kensington, London. Bill Bryson argues that by making the Natural History Museum an institution for everyone, Owen transformed our expectations of what museums are for. While he made several contributions to science and public learning, Owen was a controversial figure among his contemporaries, both for his disagreements on matters of common descent and for accusations that he took credit for other people's work. So even his contemporaries were calling him a fraud. And the kicker here is that I found this on Wikipedia. I can go to a million different sources, okay? I use this because it's easily recognizable and it's formatted nicely for a video, okay? But look, if Wikipedia says something, if you can get Wikipedia to admit something like that, it's like getting a liberal to say that Joe Biden's policies suck, like twisting their arm. Okay, yeah, they suck. They suck. That's like Wikipedia admitting any kind of truth. All right, so I look at that as another. To me, it adds credibility to the fact that this is real. Just in my mind at least, just knowing the sources that I'm utilizing.
Dinosaurs get their names because paleontologists give them their names. So we name dinosaurs all the time. And there's just different conventions. People have different styles.
Some of these complex dinosaur names we know just roll off the tongue of little kids. But how did they get those names?
There's a nomenclature, and there are rules to that nomenclature
that require every dinosaur, in fact every organism named, to have two separate names. The first is the genus name, and it's always capitalized, like Tyrannosaurus.
Rex is the species name that follows. In other words, there's a particular species of Tyrannosaurus called Tyrannosaurus rex.
Now, these names kind of came from Latin or Greek words.
Tyrannosaurus means terrible lizard.
And they can either describe some anatomical characteristic of the dinosaur.
Like Triceratops, it's named after the three horns on top of its Triceratops. It's named after the three horns on top of its head.
Or they can be names that honor someone, maybe the person who collected a lot of dinosaurs.
Sometimes dinosaurs are named after where they're found, like Edmontosaurus is a good example. I mean, it's from near Edmonton in Canada. Traditionally, in the old days, almost every dinosaur ended in saurus. So we have, Edmontosaurus, Tyrannosaurus, Albertosaurus. That's sort of changed a little bit. I mean, one of the things that we regularly do now is that we name dinosaurs that are found in China have the suffix long, L-O-N-G. So like Guanlong, Konglong, because long means dragon in Mandarin.
Long means dragon in Mandarin.
And this is kind of how these dinosaurs get their names. They're not simply meaningless, but they're either describing some aspect of the animal, where it was found, or someone that was important in its discovery. And we have a lot of these examples in the dinosaur halls here at AMNH.